Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Small Business Success Talk. I am your host, Christy Smallwood, and never fear, I've got guests coming. So in future episodes, we're going to have my guest pipeline is filling back up, which I'm very excited about because I love having those interviews and getting stories from other business owners about what they've gone through to get to where they are now, what they're building for the future. That ultimately, if you're listening to this and you're a business owner or person who's developing that business, you're not in this by yourself. There are thousands and thousands of us out there who are working our asses off to build our dreams. And that's where we can I'm using this platform to help share each other's stories as well as best practices, tips and tricks and things like that all along the way for small to medium business owners. Now, we are in a brand new year. Welcome to 2024. Happy New Year, y'all. And I don't know about you, but mine has already just hit the ground running, which I'm never lacking for something to do around here. But it's also a lot of big questions that I have to ask myself and make decisions for and moving it forward for Q1. And some of this stuff, I was like, why didn't I get this done like last September? I know better. But I always put myself on the back burner, which is not the right thing to do. But because I do all the strategy and stuff for my clients, their stuff comes before mine. I get to mine kind of sort of last minute. And even though I spent a lot of time in December on thinking through my processes and how to make the processes better and systems and people that I'm going to need and how can I best serve the people that I currently have to be able to help me better and in which helps grow the business. So there's just a whole lot of that that's been going on. And it's no different than what I help coach my clients through. It's just, I have to do it myself also. And when you do it by yourself, it is harder. So I always I have mentors and accountability partners, and I have groups and people that I go to be able to get ideas and best practices and all that kind of stuff. And I'm repaying that. I'm paying that forward through content like this in this podcast. So what are we talking about today? I'm going to give you what I think are the 5 biggest things every business owner needs to be doing in 2024 to set you, your team, your business up for absolute success. My 5 big things that I know are crucial to growth for every business owner starts with number 1, increase your self-awareness. If you're a follower of Gary Vaynerchuk at all out there, he has used that for years. That self-awareness is a key to being a great business leader, a business owner, to grow your business. Self-awareness is crucial so that you know, because here's the thing, as a small business owner, especially, we are typically the face and the heart of our business. We're the voice of the business. Our identity, how we show up, is how the business is going to show up. So the energy that we bring to it, because we're the founders, the creators, we're the owners and operators, how we are showing up matters a great deal. And so when you have a higher level of self-awareness, you can then self-assess. And ideally, you would have other people give you feedback. The ones that you trust, that you know are not just your cheerleaders, but get those people who are willing to tell you, don't wear that out in public. That's the people that you need to go to when you're trying to be better at self-awareness, so that you're also not, because we are also our own worst critics. So don't get stuck in just criticizing yourself all day long, because that's easy. Find somebody who is willing to say, you know what? No, this is your strength and this is how you show up. When you get people like that in your corner, you are able to then start talking to yourself like that more, and you'll show up in your strengths a whole lot better without getting too cocky, because you also need that friend that says you need to dial that shit back a hot minute, because nobody wants to deal with an egomaniac ever, or a narcissist. Nobody wants to deal with it. Sometimes we have to, because we all have somebody like that around us at some point in our life, but nobody really wants to do it. And I would rather show up in a way that people want to be around me instead of having to deal with me. So increase your self-awareness. That's number one. Number two, increase your emotional intelligence. Now, what's the difference? So, emotional intelligence is more you're able to self manage your own emotional energy as well as manage and direct others' emotional energy. So, if you're a leader at all, anywhere, and if you're a business owner, you are managing, whether it even be in a networking situation so that you can start new relationships, or they're already in the pipeline and you're negotiating that client to negotiating that new client coming on board, or your team. And sometimes it could be your family when you have to work more than they expect you to. You have to help manage their emotional expectations. So how can you get better at emotional intelligence? Well, it's a skill. One, you need to be willing to be aware. Honestly, both number one and number two, you have to be willing to be aware. If you are, the word's myopic, if you are just got your blinders on and you only see one thing, or you're stuck in a fixed mindset, not a growth mindset, you have to be willing to open yourself up to see things from different points of view, different perspectives, be willing to learn about somebody else and how they feel and what the situation is they're going through. You don't have to say to them, and honestly, it's not the best thing to say is, I understand. Don't say that. The better thing to say, if you sense and you see that somebody is struggling with something, just let them know it is understandable that you feel like this. Let them get that energy off of them, and then you can help guide and direct that energy into something else. Because typically if I'm sitting with somebody who has just had a really shitty day and the goal is they need to be focused so they can be productive, well, we need to get the shitty day energy off of them. And so what that means is let them talk about it, use the words, let them use all of the words until a certain point that it feels like, usually I don't let them repeat themselves 5 times, right? Okay, now that we've expended this energy, what do you want to do with it? What result do you want to see here? Or do you just want to sit with it? I just need you to own what you're going to do right now. And so all of that has been trained in me. I'm much better whenever I'm in the moment with somebody, but instead of trying to role play this on a podcast by myself, the emotional intelligence skills can be trained. So to accomplish number one and number two, and honestly, everything that we're going to talk about today is having the willingness to learn and get the training for it. Coaching, training. This is the things that a business owner would need to be able to do these things that are on the list. Okay. So one, increase your self-awareness. Two, increase your emotional intelligence so you can help manage that emotional energy in a day. And then three, have a team development strategy or plan, both ideally. So, strategy meaning what are the objectives? What do you really want to see happen? How do you want this to look and feel in a day? And then, how are we going to get there? Becomes a plan, an actionable plan. So, you can actually develop that and give your team something to work towards, help them develop themselves, help them develop their own sense of an increased self awareness so that their own emotional intelligence levels go up. So once you start doing that and you design the culture you want to create, what then does the team need to be able to develop in themselves to get to this? What do we look like when we're firing on all cylinders kind of environment? Work out a team development plan for and a strategy for your team and your business. It goes a great deal towards your business growth. If your team is excited about what you do and excited about showing up and they like each other and they work well together, it's this magical combination of, wow, things get done and they get done really well. And oh, look, the marketplace loves that this thing was done and done really well and on time and under budget. And it's just like all of this magical stuff starts to happen. Now, it's not to say there's not bumps in the road, but here's the thing, a well oiled team machine, for lack of a better way to produce it. When your team is really working well together, speed bumps are not a problem for them because they work well together to overcome whatever challenges get thrown at them in a day. And I am part of the team. I'm not over here as an extra, just watching the team do stuff or just tell them what to do and expect them to do it. I'm part of the team. So I have my own assigned work as part of the team. And sometimes I'm also the weak link in the chain here, but I digress. They know that. They love me anyway. I appreciate my team tremendously. So have the team development plan. The next thing is have, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Number 4 is have a strategic marketing plan. And we've talked a lot in this show about marketing and ideas for it and the tools you need to use and how to develop things. Marketing is really the number one thing you need to be able to get your business out there. I've talked before about build it and they will come is only in the movies. You need to build it and tell people it exists so that they can consider coming. And marketing, you have to have a marketing mix nowadays. You can't just do one thing and expect it to work. You have to do a mixture of things that is specific for your target audience. There's complexities to marketing. It can be a pain in the ass most days, but it can also be one of the most fun things you do in your business once you get the hang of it. Find a good rhythm for it, develop a strategic plan. That will help you develop a good rhythm. You'll know what content to do. You'll know when deadlines need to hit. You know how much work it takes to get it done. And you'll develop the budget to go along with it. Because in marketing, you have to pay for tools. You're going to need to pay other people to do it because you can't do it all by yourself. And how does that look? Are you hiring people to do it internally? Or are you hiring outside outsourced help? It varies. The having a strategic marketing plan will help you make those kind of decisions faster. Need help with that? All of these things, obviously, I work with my clients to do. This is why they're on the top 5. Okay, so strategic marketing plan. Go back and listen to some of these previous podcasts. You can get a lot of information out of just those to help frame out your own strategic marketing plan. And again, you struggle with that, contact me. I'm happy to walk you through a couple things that you can even do on your own. And in fact, I'm developing that kind of a program this year. So stay tuned. May have something just for you if you are doing all that stuff by yourself. Number 5. Number 5. So number 1 was increase your self-awareness. Number 2, increase your emotional intelligence. Number 3, develop your team strategy/plan. And number 4, have a strategic marketing plan. Number 5. You ready? Embrace change and plan for it. So, change is really the only constant that we have in life. And the reason why I put embrace change on here as a top 5 is because AI. I was like, you know what? AI has definitely hit us blindsided. What we've experienced from basically February of 2020 has been nothing but constant massive change. And it's enough to give anybody whiplash. It makes your head spin. You just kind of need to hang on for dear life some days. This roller coaster has not stopped. So it would be safe to say it's not going to stop anytime soon. Change has been a constant over the generations upon generation upon generation. It's nothing new to us. We in my own lifetime, I will be turning 50 this year. Shocker. In my own lifetime, I'm amazed at the just technology changes. And I'm amazed at fashion changes, hairstyles, like housing styles, you're decorating, there's so many changes to vehicles, to all kinds of different things, food, blah, 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 blah. Everything changes around us. But you know what does not change? Basic human needs. So there's this beautiful dichotomy here of what has been absolute foundational from our creation, from the beginning of the world and human beings, as humans, we still have what Darren Hardy likes to call the monkey brain that is so simplistic. We need to be, we need to feel like we're being seen, heard, and that somebody gets us. We belong. We need to feel like we belong. So there's basic human needs that are still this, they don't change. They, you might come across somebody that is different from you and that changes your perspective, but that basic human need of what of that is hasn't changed. But everything around us has. So the tools in which we use to market, the channels in which we put our content in have changed over the years. It's, we no longer do only print. We no longer only have a flyer on the window outside our office or an ad in the paper. We now have an ungodly amount of ways in which we can put our content out there. And believe it or not, there is more than just Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Like there is more than just Google. There is a plethora, cornucopia, if you will, of options out there for you to be able to put your marketing stuff into, and how to find people to help you and find your target audience and. But to keep up with that requires us to, number one, be willing to keep up with it to a degree. And then two, actually do it. Like dive into learning more about AI and how that is affecting your industry, your business, your competition. How are they using it? How fast are other people progressing away from you because you have not taken the time to learn anything about it? So the key thing about embracing change in this state of our business life is that we need to schedule it. So if you, this also falls under like, how many books are you going to read? Like when you're seeing people share book ideas, read a new book, ask Google for help, assign a team member to study it and give you some summaries. That's one of my strategies for some things around here because I don't have enough time in a day to do it all by myself, but I'm willing to learn. So what are the key things I need to learn about that? So I'm at least aware of how it's affecting me. That's where I start. And if there's something that I'm like, ooh, I want to dive deeper into, then I'll dive deeper into that. But I typically will schedule some time to be able to have, I'm going to learn this thing over here into my schedule. I don't like being blindsided by really anything. So I step back and I ask myself, what do I need to know that I don't know yet? What can I see coming on the horizon that I need to be aware of? And is there something I need to dive deeper into? When it comes to things that I specialize in, like business coaching or executive coaching, training, leadership, being superheroes, the hero's journey for people's lives, and marketing. I've been in marketing for 30 years now. Jeez, oh, Pete, for 30 years. I still blows me away that I've been doing this stuff for so long. You'd think and I'm just so speechless about it. We'll just stop right there. And I've been coaching now since 2010. Wow. Y'all. And I've been training since long before that. And wow, okay. Just having a moment, having a quick, oh, let's add this up moment. I could say I'm getting old, but no, actually, I'm still at a place I don't feel like I've mastered it. And I think that that's pretty much the case of most people who've been doing what we do for decades and decades. There's always something new to learn. And because I haven't learned everything, I feel like I'm never going to master it. And I probably have mastered some stuff in comparison to other people. But I don't need to compare. I don't need to compare. I don't have to compare. It's beautiful. I am what I am. But that's a Popeye reference. For those that don't know. I'm so sorry. Welcome to 2024. So bottom line on all of these top 5, and I only chose 5 because these are the key things. Like if you remembered these 5 things: self-awareness, emotional intelligence, develop your team, develop your marketing plan, all strategy behind it, and embrace change. The bottom line of it is you need to be willing to learn. There's still so much to learn in just the world in general that you need to have an openness and willingness to learn new things, learn more, something new about what you already know, because you don't know everything about what you think you know. When I say I've been doing marketing for 30 years, they keep coming up with new stuff I'm supposed to learn all the freaking time. It could be mostly in new tools or new channels. New generations think a different way in terms of what their preferences are and how they want to be communicated with, but their base needs are still the same. So, how do I find out what's important to them? And the way that I find things out, like there's so much that changes all the time, and I have to be willing to change. Now, side note to that, do I get tired and of dealing with it? Absolutely. That's why I take trips and days off on purpose, just so I could shut my own brain off. And that becomes, how do you find your flow, your own rhythm of things? And so one of the things that I do, in addition to all of this, here's the bonus for you. Is find a word of the year that helps keep you on track to accomplishing the thing that you want to really accomplish for yourself, or your business for the coming year. Me, I have been doing word of the year now, golly, for many, many years. And it has yet to fail me that by the time I hit roughly October, November, I start to see, I kind of look back over the year. I'm like, wow, this word has really played out. Now, the funniest word, it's not funny, ha ha, funny. And I'm like, whoa, wait, that was a challenge. And it was amazing to see what happened from it. Was 2020. My word of the year was thrive. You guys, that was so, I was like, why the hell did I pick this damn word? Why did I have to do that to myself? And I stuck with it. I stuck with it because it helped center me when during that whole global shutdown. It helped to center me. How can I thrive even in the midst of this? How can I? So my word for 24 is vibrant. And from 2020 to 24, one year was thrive, the next year was rhythm, and then I wanted to be better, and then momentum. And last year I saw some real momentum in all of my brands and for myself in life, and it was just a beautiful thing to see. It was not an easy year. I'm not saying the year was easy by any stretch of the imagination, but what I became throughout the year matched my word. So I'm higher on the self-awareness scale than a lot of people. I know, I'm like, okay, what do I want to become? What does Christy want to become this next year? I found my word, vibrant, and that's what I want to be on a regular basis. So that's how I want to show up everywhere for everybody and myself. And my top 5 things that I'm giving to you is how I'm going to get there. So that's my share with you. Happy New Year, everybody. And I've been your host, Christy Smallwood. Thanks for listening. Thanks for showing up, and look forward to seeing you or you seeing me with a guest at the next episode of Small Business Success Talk. Thanks, everybody.